There we go. The fifth stop of CQCS Innovation Latam. What a pleasure, what an honor to be here today with all of you, discussing and changing ideas about what the challenge of the distribution in the new normal, in this new world order. We are having an experience that will for sure change a lot of things about our habits, behaviors, and especially how we consume. We are from the insurance side. We are very, very lucky because we are the good friends of the bad times. So even in the crisis, when people feel scared, they come to us, especially for the brokers who are the responsible for the distribution. So today we choose to bring to you a very special team of professionals who handle distribution. Will be with us today, Susan Hatton. Susan Hatton is from Brooker Tech Ventures. She's gonna tell us how works this organization that make brokers join and work on acceleration, investing, and improving the distribution of the insurance industry. We also have with us Eduardo Dalhi from Allianz Brazil. We are calling here the new Allianz because after the merge and they joined the automobile in risks from South America, became an even greater company in the market. And we also have here Mr. Lionel Sofia, which is the chairman of Gallagher for Latam. So three very top executives to talk about what we're living and especially where are we going. That's the great point right now. COVID has arrived and we survived it and we are going forward. And before inviting our Strateg of the Month, I would ask you guys to pay attention in some aspects about our conference. There's a conference in English, but it's Latam. So we have simultaneous translation for Spanish and Portuguese. So you have the button down there. We also have two Q&A button. It's for the questions. Please don't make the question on the chat. Use the Q&A button. And you have the chat, which is open all over the conference, so you can meet other people, changing ideas, make your networking. But don't use the Q&A for networking, and don't use the chat for making your questions. After the three presentations, we have a Q&A session here that I will handle, and you can be open to ask your question for Strateg of the Month and of our three speakers. And I really would like to thank you very much, everyone who came over here. And remember you to tell your friends that we will have on CQCS, TV CQCS, YouTube channel, these three presentations in Portuguese, Spanish, and English, so more people can get aware about what we have been discussing here today. First of all, I would like to invite you, Mr. Bartolomé Bung. He's Argentinian, industrial designer with strong focus on consumer, aiming to collaborate of the democratic states of the insurance industry since 2014. And it was when he started working as a broker. He was an indication of a very special partner that we have in this CQCS Latam operation. It's Hilario Triago. So Hilario is a very good friend, always trying to bring what we got the best in our Latam for you guys. Bartolomé, good afternoon. Very nice to have you here for us. Good luck, my friend.
Okay, thank you very much for that presentation, Gustavo. I will share a screen. Okay, as Gustavo already presented me, I'm Bartolomé, one of the co-founders of WeCover. First of all, thank you, Gustavo, and all the team of CQCS for giving us this opportunity and for choosing WeCover as Insurtech of the Month. And to everyone, apologize my not so sophisticated English and the lack of some vocabulary, but I will do my best. So let's go to the important. As we cover, our goal is to democratize the insurance industry, giving anyone the opportunity to choose what to protect, when to protect it, and for how long. With Santi, the other co-founder of WeCover, we were close friends long before we became partners. We started working together back in 2014 as insurance brokers. And as we get deep into the business, we noticed that the market focused on traditional risks, such as automotive, housing, and life insurance, while they were losing sight of a very interesting target, which indeed was growing steadily. Think of a youngster riding to his workplace with his smartwatch, with his smartphone in his pocket, and his laptop in his bag. Those capital goods are being unattended, and such profiles are not being properly targeted by the market. We identified this as a problem and decided to find a solution. We knew this solution should be totally digital, and the challenge was to make insurance attractive for these profiles. With this in mind, we created WeCover, a new platform with a web and mobile app, with the objective of exploring and developing an unattended segment, democratizing insurance, and giving our customers the possibility to protect their assets whenever they want, for as long as they want to, switching coverage on and off directly from their smartphones. Our solution fits several business models, mainly a B2C model where WeCover operates as intermediary, working side by side with several insurance companies, and to a B2B model where we offer WeCover's platform as white label to our partners. Our app is really easy to use. In the first step, the user can create his own inventory with all his products based on a catalog preloaded and validated by WeCover and the insurance companies we work with. If someone doesn't find what he's looking for in this catalog, he can suggest it to us. We consider this suggestion channel really important. Historically, insurance companies design and create products indoor and then offer them to the market. With this suggestion channel, we look to do it the other way around. We propose an exogenous product design where we listen to our users, we collect data in order to understand their needs and create specific products for those needs. Once the user has created his inventory, he can choose what to protect, when to protect it, and for how long. Could be for a day, several days, or even a month. Eventually, he can also handle a claim fully digital through our app. We are not just a merchandising channel. We like to think about our business in an holistic way. We add value in every stage of the process. We share information with insurance companies, facilitating decision-making and their execution, reducing operating costs, and collaborating with the digitalization of their business. Since the user is logged, we collect data from every interaction he has with our platform in order to understand behavioral patterns, mitigate risk, and conclude in a better product for the final customer. We are totally digital. We have no paper emission at any moment. We reduce operating costs, automating common processes. We help in decision-making, processing data into information, and through APIs, our platform is really easy to plug to any insurance company. Our business model is quite simple and traditional in the insurance market. We commission per every item insured. And to conclude this presentation, some milestones from WeCover. We are already into business since July 2019, working alongside with several insurance companies in Argentina, where we offer coverages for smartphones, musical instruments, tablets, laptops, bikes, e-scooters, cameras, and drones. And we have just landed in Mexico with Sura, where initially we are just offering smartphone coverages. We are looking forward to work with many insurers more and to landing in other countries of the region in the near future. So thank you very much for your time and attention.
Bartolome, you did great, my friend. So your English did really great. So yeah, I'm very well impressed with you showing up. And I would like to ask you, if you don't mind, just to hear for a while, seeing the other presentations, so the Q&A sessions. If someone from the audience wants to share, to ask something, you can answer the questions, and don't mind, because if you have any language problem, we are here to support you, my friend. We are Latin America.
Okay, thank you very much.
We're together, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My friends, I really like you all to understand that we have a great goal with CQCS Innovation Latam. This operation started as a consequence of pandemic. And we are very proud to get our first edition. With our sixth edition, which we're going to be in November 19th. And we are having an overview about how everything worked during this strange year. But that's a strange year that helped us to really make difference with society. Society understood how important insurance it is, how strong our industry is, and especially society choose the insurance broker. And now I will bring someone who became very special to me lately. I met Booker Tech when I was attending Agency Connect from ITC, sending a hug here for my friends, Caribou, Jay, Samara, and everyone for the marvelous team from ITC. We did great on ITC Global, just ended yesterday. And I got really curious about that. And when I reached them to ask someone to come to speak with us, I met Susan Hatton. And Susan Hatton showed be someone that you can count with. We had a pre-conference day on Monday, and on Thursday or Friday, I don't really remember exactly the day, I had an idea. Wow, she introduced me for another investor named Beatriz, and said, oh, it would be amazing if we have some investors in our pre-conference. In 24 hours, Helen, with her colleague, with Bia, did amazing panel in CQCS pre-conference for ITC. So please welcome Susan Hatton, Chief Operation Officer from Booker Tech Ventures, Corporate and Community Engagement for Holmes Murphy, the brokerage company which had the CEO of Booker Tech Ventures. She's American. She is a founder team member and Chief Operation Officer of Booker Tech Ventures, and oversees corporate and community engagement at Holmes Murphy. Prior to joining Holmes Murphy, Susan led business development for a communication and advertising agency for more than a decade. In addition to mentoring within the insurance industry via the Global Insurance Accelerator, CPUCU, and more. She has led boards of directors for several state and national and international philanthropic organizations. And she now is going to show us who is Booker Tech Ventures. Susan, very, very, very welcome. Thank you so much once again. I want all the world to know how supportive you was with us and how glad am I to have you here today.
Gustavo, thank you. And I am honored to be a part of CQCS LATAM, and it's been a pleasure to get to know the organization over literally the past several weeks, and we look forward to much more ahead. So as Gustavo mentioned, I'm Susan Hatton, Chief Operating Officer of Broker Tech Ventures, and also oversee corporate and community engagement at Holmes Murphy, which is one of the largest privately held retail brokers in the United States. I'll jump in. I'm going to share my screen and would like to show you a little bit more about who we are and what we do at Broker Tech Ventures. So this panel is all about distribution in the new normal, and Gustavo mentioned this. that who would have thought we would all be in a conference on Zoom and joining from all borders across countries, and we're doing it. We pivoted and we iterated. You know, when we launched BrokerTech Ventures just a little over a year ago at InsurTech Connect in Las Vegas, we could have never predicted we would be as far, as fast as we've come. And we believe that's because of the flexibility and the quick iteration that we know as insurance brokers that we must be able to do on a dime. So BrokerTech Ventures is the convener of innovation, ideation, investment, and communication for the global insurance ecosystem. And I'll get into that here in a moment, but we did start domestically in the United States with these 13 privately held retail brokers. Again, starting with Holmes Murphy and M3 Insurance, Holmes Murphy, which is located in the state of Iowa, and M3 Insurance out of Madison, Wisconsin, were co-founders of BrokerTech Ventures. We then made calls and connected with the additional 11 agencies you see on the screen, ranging from the Silicon Valley and the West Coast to the Eastern Seaboard, and several others yet to be named as we build out the ecosystem. But really, BrokerTech Ventures was founded upon the philosophy of the infinite game. So for those of you that are familiar with the author, he's originally from the UK. He now is an American, but his name is Simon Sinek. And Simon's latest body of work is all around the infinite game. The infinite game is the premise that in this world, there's a finite game and an infinite game. In a finite game, there's a winner and a loser. Someone wins in insurance and someone loses. And we believe that's the old way of thinking. The new way of thinking is that there is an infinite game, and the infinite game is the goal of the game is to continue playing the game. And if we can support one another, so these 13 privately held retail brokers who prior to BrokerTech Ventures were really competing on business every day, and now we've come together to share stories, to share innovations, and to lift the industry, that's really distribution in the new normal as we see it. In addition to privately held retail agencies, we also partner with insurance companies. These are a few examples on your screen and several others that we have yet to name. But we're excited because the insurance companies are really helping us to lift up our innovation tower, which I'll get into in a moment. So again, market validation and opportunity. We built BrokerTech Ventures as a company because after doing months of extensive research, we knew that there was no other broker-centric model in the marketplace. So again, the idea is to bring together innovation, ideation, investment, and communication for the global insurance ecosystem. Together with our agencies and now our insurance companies, we've amassed several $1 billion in collective distribution, and we'll continue to build that out, along with our international presence. BrokerTech Ventures is built around 5 towers of business operation. The first tower is the accelerator. The accelerator is really our opportunity to bring the unknowns into the knowns. We want to be open and welcoming to insurtechs. I'm sure many of you recall several years ago, you would hear a lot about how insurtech was going to disrupt the broker model. They were going to wipe out the broker model. And we said, we're going to flip that on its head and bring these insurtechs into our ecosystem to teach them about really what brokerage is all about. So we do that through our accelerator. The second tower is early stage investments. BrokerTech Ventures collectively is a fund where we have an opportunity to make investments if and when we so choose, and we're very flexible in that model. Innovation, again, is our tower of operation where we work with insurance companies like Travelers and Cincinnati and others, and we're beginning to build out our relationships in the health carrier space as well. Capital. we strategically align with private equity and venture capital in the marketplace that have an appetite for insurtech investment. And then lastly, media and communications. Opportunities like this, where we get to surround ourselves with some really incredible and brilliant minds in the insurance ecosystem. And we use BrokerTech Ventures to amplify what we're seeing, hearing, and learning through media and communications. Again, this is just a visual that outlines more around our 5 towers of business operation. And then we have our stakeholder ecosystems. Really, Gustavo mentioned this in opening remarks, but this is a community. Even though some of us taking part in this session might consider one another competitors, we're really an ecosystem creating greater good for the world through what we're doing in insurance. And if we open our doors to insurtech, we can make that a greater and better experience for the entire customer value chain. I mentioned our accelerator, and it was really great to hear from WeCover, and congratulations on all of your success. The 12 logos and icons you see on the screen are recent graduates of our BrokerTech Ventures 2020 cohort. These 12 insurtechs, most of them located in the United States, 2 of them outside of the United States, are really phenomenal insurtech companies that we made an investment in, and we've intentionally mentored and brought their technology solutions into the insurance ecosystem through our brokerage agencies, through our carrier and wholesale partners, and then ultimately directly to customers if applicable. Our operating company is made up of a very small team, but we're growing quickly. Our co-CEOs, Dan Keogh, who is chairman and CEO of Holmes Murphy, again, my parent company and employer. And Dan has really been a visionary and an entrepreneur his entire career. He is serving as co-CEO of BrokerTech Ventures, and he and I, along with Ellen Willitson, who Gustavo had the chance to bring into the session earlier this week, really have led out BrokerTech Ventures over the past year. Mike Victorson is co-CEO as well, and Mike is CEO of M3, again, out of Madison, Wisconsin. And I have the good fortune of serving as our Chief Operating Officer. That's really an overview of BrokerTech Ventures. I'm happy to always answer questions. I know Gustavo is going to hit on questions and answers here when we close out. But again, it's an honor, a pleasure to be with you all today. We look forward to BrokerTech Ventures being in your ecosystems, in your regions, and we see that happening in the very near future. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Gustavo.
Oh, Susan, I love this model when capital comes with knowledge, with mentorizing, not only money that a startup needs. The doors that a group of mature brokerage companies, mature brokerage house can offer to someone who is starting in the insurance field, it's amazing. So I really love it. And I'd like to tell our friends who are here, you would just ask it about questions and answers will be in the end for all the speakers. I'd like to say hello to Rita Granja, my neighbor in the office. You haven't been seeing each other for a long time. She's a broker from Bahia, Salvador. And I reached her, she's here with us. And Mr. Laureano Fortuna, who made 50 years brokerage company anniversary this year. Congratulations to him. And Susan, thank you very much. And please wait a little until the Q&A. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And one thing that really touched me is when I see the ecosystem concept being empowered. I think that's very, very important game. We don't need losers. We don't need to lose for someone to gain. We can work in a very, very, very strong mindset and behavior that allowed only positive relationships. We have in Brazil a very strong and mature market. I have been blessed with the opportunity to meet very special people in the journey of CQCS, who's just had hit 19 years anniversary last week on October 10th. And we realized that we just could survive almost 2 decades because a lot of people supported us. And today is a very special day to me. Why? Because I have the pleasure to see and to say hello to a man, a warrior, a gaúcho, a guy who make a beautiful journey doing in our industry, always respecting the other people, always taking care of the assets of the companies and the brokers who have been related, always trying to study and know more and more and more about the risk he was involved in, and always being really loyal. And that's, in English, there's a word we don't have in Portuguese. It's trustworthy, someone which worth to be trusted. Now I invite a guy who you can really get the feeling that's a person that worth to trust, because he's a winner and he's a very, very simple man who really focus in protect and take care of brokers. And now he's in charge of a huge alliance operation in Brazil. And please welcome Mr. Eduardo Dalri, my friend. Eduardo is a executive director from Allianz Seguros, taking care of all the distribution from the company. He's graduated from actuarial science from UFGRS and specialized in finance from FGV. And he also is a marketing MBA on ESPM and an MBA also in economics in USP. So our great college, our wonderful formation, but he got what I think is his biggest asset: 25 years acting in the insurance market in Brazil. And I can tell you, it's not easy to survive 25 years old in a so competitive market and gets in today being someone that everyone respects, or both like me. Eduardo, welcome. Please, it's your show now, my friend.
Thank you for your words, Doria. I hope I have the half qualities you just said to me. Yeah? So thank you for your kind words. It's a pleasure. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here. To me, it's very weird to speak in English with my people, especially with brokers. I have never done this before until today. So thank you for this opportunity. I believe it's amazing to talk with brokers, my peers in the other companies. Many are greeting me recently for this meeting. So you are in the right way with this kind of meetings. Congratulations, Doria. I would like to share one of my screens with you, if you don't mind.
You should be allowed.
So I believe you are seeing. So first of all, I would like to greet my brokers from all over the Brazil. My sincerely grateful for them. I'd like to do this personally, but as Doria said, that's the best way we have today to do this kind of meetings. Huh? So from Allianz, we have more than one challenge in this whole mess we are in the pandemic. And that's why I have one chart especially for this, to talk about what we did in the pandemic in Allianz, because it's quite different from other companies, especially for one reason. I'll say to you. In Allianz, we have a double challenge because as everybody, we have to pass through this mess, this pandemic crisis, taking care about our people, our family, employees, keep working and keep our business on. And we did this. We are very proud of this. But in Allianz side, we have another challenge. We did the closing. We bought a company during the pandemic. We not give up about doing that. And beside that, we speed up the velocity of doing this challenge. So we did everything M&A process do when we do this. We meet lawyers, bankers, stockholders, and so on. We put all together in a digital meeting, in a virtual room, and we did the closing 1 month before we expect. So we are very proud of this. Not because because we did, especially because we learn a lot from that. We learn we can do everything we need, even if you have inside a crisis like we are facing today. So here we have some numbers of our challenge. We come from the number 9 in the market to number 2, one of the 3 biggest companies in the market, and we still having challenges because we did the deal recently in July, last July, but we have many things to do. We have now in the pandemic crisis to integrate SulAmérica Auto to Allianz system. We're not allowed to leave any policy, any broker behind. We have to put all together and go through this journey with us. This is not easy, but thanks God we have the support of our brokers, our clients, and everything we are doing now, it's for brokers and our clients. So let's go forward. So this is here we have more numbers of what we did. We are 72 branches. And one interesting thing about our branches, we have never visited yet. We have new branches of Allianz branches. We come from 44 branches to 72 branches, and we don't know. We have never live on these branches, have never worked on these branches. We are our 2,700 people, employees, working from home. So that's a weird thing to say, but it's completely true. I have visited my own office 2 months ago, and I spent only, I believe, 10 days during this pandemic, and I changed my office from SulAmérica and come to another without knowing the address of the new company or what floor is my own room. So it's very weird, but it's very good for to learn. Yeah. So we spend a lot of time, invest a lot of time in training of our, especially for our consultants, our accounts who take care of our brokers, because they are in charge of being this human contact, even if it's digital, but human contact. So we develop many skills to change all our 600 accounts to be prepared to do different approaches with our brokers. Many of them are very traditional. They are not used with video calls, chats, and so on. And we have to develop them also not only us, but we have to teach them how to be connected with us with many tools like the Zoom or WebEx and so on. So you can imagine from the first chart, you can imagine what we dream for that moment. I come back for this one. When you develop the project of the closing, we have many things in mind, like to do a big party to engage people from South America, to people waiting for this for these people from Allianz, and we develop many things to do presentially or to be in contact with these people, bringing everybody to São Paulo, to a party, to a convention, and everything we never did. We did conventions digitally, we meet everybody at home, and we are still at home today. And before somebody asks us, we have no date to come back to the office. But I will tell something about this later. So here I bring to you some learnings, and for me the big learn we have in this occasion, in this crisis, is people discovery. It's very good to work from home, and we could think why these people like to be working from home with kids, with sometimes no good space to work and so on. But you can imagine in Allianz, an employee spend more than 1 hour and a half to go to Allianz and to come back home. 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour and a half in the evening. So when you ask them, do you like to come back to the office? Only 10% say, oh, I would like to. The majority are liking, not of course the crisis, of course not. We are very concerned about that. We are very concerned about that. But they get used with working from home. They take some advantage of working from home, like being more with their kids, their family, spending more time playing with kids. It's my case. I have never been so close of my two kids like today. They ask for me, not only for the mother, but ask for me to go to the bath, to the toilet, to take a shower, and so on. That's very, very good. So that's this chart offer to us some points of thinking that something is about to change. Even if we have a vaccine to the corona, something is about to change. And I'm talking not about the first speaker, and thank you for your teaching, because he get used with work from home. He works in a tech company and so on. But from us, for a traditional market like an insurance company, nothing can be more traditional than an insurance company. And we develop skills to be home like everybody in a tech industry, insurtech, fintech, and so on. So we are very proud for that. And that's a good thing to tell you about our company. We are global. We are in more than 70 countries in the world, and we have a very strong headquarter governance. And they put beside some people just to think in a new working model. That's what we would like to share with you now. So first of all, I'd like to say to you, or confess to you, I have no idea what will be, what's next. I'm not the right person to tell you what will be after a vaccine, if we will come everybody to work again 100% or a kind of a hybrid work. It's what I like the most. Some time at office, some time at home. In our group, we are thinking in minimum 40% at home and 60% in the office. But if you do a great job in your country, you put 60% at home and 40% in the office at the same day. So we are right now discussing about what we think about could be our new working model and what we can learn from this crisis. And my final words that I prepared to you for this introduction is in a insurance company like Allianz and like being in a Brazilian market, we are very traditional. We have a traditional market, and for us, especially with for the sales department, we live for making contact, to making human, to make in-person contact. Our main reason in a sales department is to keep brokers with us, quoting, developing new business, and so on. And we can't do this without contact. Of course, we learn a lot about digital contact, but in some point in the future, we have to come back to the real world, I could say, to go to a broker office, to go to develop with them many new opportunities and so on. I hard believe the human contact will keep in a modern way to do things, even if we develop more tools to be more digital in the future, including our digital way to talk and to do business with brokers. But I hard believe we have only one way to develop brokers with a human contact. Of course, this human contact could be more intense if I do some digitally and some personally. So I beg to God, we can live to see the new work and the new way to live in the world. Thank you, Doria. Thank you for the audience.
Eduardo, I really like to say that you really reached points that are really relevant for myself. I think we are humans. We like to see each other. We like to give hugs, taking hands, changing cards. And I love the resilience 2.0. You know, resilience is a tool that we have been developing a lot during this pandemic. And I'm sure that will come up, not really a new world order or a new normal, but I believe that the brokers and the clients really expect us, you know, to be in person as much as we can, and do that rationally. Expending an hour and a half just to get in the office is not really reasonable to expend 3 hours of your day, you know, going and coming. So if we can rethink that, it will be a very big gain. And thank you so much for sharing. You know already, everyone in Brazil knows because I recorded a video to say how touched I got about this merging and how happy you was choosing the people who built the new team, how respectful you was with the people who was leaving the operation. And for sure, you are doing a brave work of making this merging during the pandemics and accelerating that. That really touched me, the way Allianz believe in Brazil, Allianz believes in our brokers. So in front of all the world here today, thank you very much for that. Thank you, my friend. Gratitude. As you saw, we are having in the pandemics a huge merger. Two great companies putting their operations together, even being remotely. So that means that we are able to do things that we could not believe in the past. My friend Caribou Honig, who will be with us in November, told in the interview I did with him yesterday that we had some platforms. Now we started with the mainframes, then we came with the PCs. After the PCs, the notebooks. After that came the internet and the mobile. But the platform who really transformed the world in the most drastic way was the coronavirus platform. So we really respect how they suffer of people who are sick. You know, we just said about the companies who are having a hard time. We really respect how this situation, we are not making a part of it, but we are very proud how we are going over it. And like right now, I will have the pleasure of inviting someone that came from the best casting we got this year on CQCS Innovation Latam. My friend, my brother, Eduardo Comer, famous as Shrek in Brazil, was a very active partner, inviting people to come to speak to us. And he found someone who is very special for me for two things. First of all, because he's from Chile, and I love Chile. And it's a country that really touched me when I have that since the first time. And I discovered that he used to be a part of BenHog. I was in Brazil in the 90s. So I'd like you all, please, to welcome Mr. Lionel Sofia, who is the chairman of Arthur Gallagher in Latin America. And he acts as CEO of Gallagher Chile with more than 30 years in industry experience. In the 80s, Lionel established a retail brokers, and a decade later set up a reinsurance operation in partnership with BenHog, like me. And later he became EW branch and finally Aon Benfield Chile, where Lionel acted as CEO for 5 years and then moved to lead the expansion of Arthur Gallagher in Latin America. Lionel went to Portland University, where he studied business administration and has a strong reinsurance knowledge as well as market relationship, and is driving innovation regarding service and products. Lionel, first of all, thank you very much to join us. And I'm very happy that I run the presentation. Something that's go wrong with the presentation is my fault, not Lionel's fault. And would like to tell everybody in the room that we'll have a Q&A after Lionel, and everyone will come back to for the answer the questions. And good luck, my friend. Now it's your show.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Gustavo, for the introduction. I'm so pleased to be here, have been invited. Really, it's an honor. Companies like CS, QS, Innovation are the ones that will have the future. And I think this has been a fantastic, I think it's been time to talk about what is going on. Not easy. We don't have the crystal ball, but I think it's challenging. So if you want, we can go through some of the slides that we have prepared, and we can start going with this. That's a nice picture of someone that may be helping us in the future. So, well, you talk about me, so I think it's enough talking about me, but basically the only thing I will say there is that I have been in almost every corner of this business since I started building a small retail broker when I was 20, and I moved all along to the insurance world and to being in part of different groups of insurance companies. So, but now I'm very happy being the head of Chile with Gallagher in reinsurance and retail, and also as chairman of the region, where I was the CEO. And then Patrick and I have taken the CEO position, which is fantastic to have a Gallagher family in the operate in Latin America. Very briefly about Gallagher. I don't know how much you know about Gallagher, but Gallagher is the third largest broker in the world today after the merge of Willis with Aon, and basically it's been very concentrated in the US. But about 10 years ago, it's moved out of the US, and today I would say almost 50% of the income is coming from outside the US. We have operations in Canada, in New Zealand, in Australia, some in Asia, very strong presence in the UK. And I was honored to 8 years ago, where we have offices in the region. We started in Mexico with our partners there, Interprotección Racinter, who are the top one broker in Mexico. Then we moved to Chile with our startup insurance, then to Peru, Colombia. We are the largest broker in the Caribbean, English Caribbean. So basically, if you can see the next slide, that's where we have put a flag. And as Gallagher, it's been very we thought. So if we go to the next slide, a bit about what really is why we're here today. I will try to give the perspective from a big broker, from one of the top 5 brokers in the world, how we see this new world, how we are moving from the traditional insurance to the new world, the new I would say new normal. And basically, I love the presentations I've seen before, because many of things that you have said is things that today we are analyzing, and I think in some way will reframe what we think will happen. So the first thing is some clients will be very differently affected, and we need to have that clear, that some of the clients, some will be in a way, maybe they will have a better, they will get some gains, and some others will have to restructure the business. We see, for example, examples of this is aviation. For example, we see that the commercial aviation, maybe charters, will be less. Will be more emphasis maybe in small planes, in private jets, private planes. Maybe the tourists will be much more boutique rather than big hotels. People will tend to go to bed and breakfast and maybe less packages holidays. And I think the health also will have another way of looking about this. Maybe the health will be, I think we will have maybe get less accidents, maybe less infections, but also demanding on creating what have touched in the pandemic in the future. We want to be covered against that. In some countries, we haven't had that cover. So the impact for the customers, we see, as I was mentioned, will be some economic uncertainty. We'll move to digital. And all those things that are mentioned there, less mobility, less travel. That's part of the challenge I think we need to understand after COVID. If we go to the next slide, I think this is one of the things that we have already seen according to the studies that Gallagher has done in surveys. The first one is effective support. The effective support today is one of the main things our clients want to see. They want to see a broker which is close to them, which is talking to them, to understanding what is going on. Has to be a quick and direct contact. And I think digital tools today are helping on that. Usually, if you are a big broker or a middle-sized broker, maybe you can see your client 3 or 4 times a year if you're good. Well, now I think with these new tools, we can be in contact with the clients maybe monthly. It's a call, it's a short call, but it keeps alert that you are thinking on them and you are finding solutions to them. So that's the first thing in the effective support. It's time to get the loyalty from your clients. Flexibility, clearly the flexibility will be another view, that another situation that we'll have to face. Coverage, yeah, the coverage will be different. Will be flexible. We need to have short covers in short periods, as you were talking before. The pricing will be different, and the insurance, the policy issuance, something which already is happening. So I think this is something which is clearly already happening. New apps and claims. And then some pandemic related, I think that the main thing here will be the business interruption coming from a pandemic event. Today, most of the regulators have pushed today some of the markets, and we're seeing this in the US, that for an event coming from a pandemic, you should be covered against the business interruption. A lot of companies are very badly hurt because they didn't have that insurance. And then, of course, the cyber exposure. The cyber exposure today is much bigger than it was maybe 10 a year ago. So I think in that situation is where we need to very connected with our insurance companies, with the insurance market, to be able to produce those covers. If we move to the next slide, a bit of the same in some way. The reality in Affinity, for example, which is also some tools of sales that we used to have, or we have in channels of distribution, I think will have to be reshaped, because today maybe the people is not going to a place to take an insurance or have a personal call. I think everything will be done much more in a fast way, as we were talking in the beginning with the presentations. I think the challenge for a broker today is to move, and we will see some maybe later what we think will happen, is to move to this new world. And I think the way we were doing the sales before, by these affinities or this old way of distribution, we will change, and that will mean that also we'll have to retrain our teams of sales. Clearly, the teams of sales will have to go to a new era. I think the amount of knowledge that this is bringing to a very old-fashioned business that was insurance is enormous. And I think we have grown and we have learned in 6 months what we were not ready to learn. So I think, but clearly people is getting engaged, and I am very optimistic of this new technology coming finally to the insurance world. So if you go to the next slide, it's a bit of the same, that how we sell, will be SMS, will be inbound, DMA, there will be social media, there will be digital marketing, etc. So basically, this is still selling and emotion investing for the future. We were doing this before COVID, but now the emphasis is, I would say, 10 times bigger. If we go to the next slide, is the traditional commercial insurance. This is more sort of companies where you need to tailor the insurance according of the kind of business they do. This will be, I think, will be a mix. Will not be 100%, as we were talking before, more digital. I think will be a mix, but clearly the process will be much more a process of automatization. So the service of these accounts, the clients will be, we will be making much more processing, selling of automatization process, innovation and risk management, and will be the personal touch that will never be lost. but then will be accompanied, will be after the first, when you make the structure, the program, will be a lot of Zoom calls, digital process, and everything would be paperless. I think paperless today, insurance company, even the most old-fashioned companies we have seen here, for example, in Chile, all of them have accommodated to do no more paper. The no cash. Everything is being done without cash. Credit cards, as we see commercial. And the next slide is a bit shows a bit the same. We put in the balance, innovation and digitalization. We still have a balance maybe to customer experience and risk consultancy in the commercial side in insurance. But automatization process will be able to absolutely digital, risk management innovation, cybersecurity. Of course, we are much more exposed. This is the new I think CAT event of the future. This is the new event that we have to be covering to every company, and that's something which is come. It was before, but clearly now is the number of cases and exposures is much bigger. So, and then finally, if we go to the outcome of this, the trend coming that we think is coming to stay in LATAM and also I think in the world is a bit of this. So this will be like my summary of what we think will happen. First, our conclusions, I would say. Cashless digitalization. Digitalization is the first thing, of course, that we have talked. Cashless, boom in insurance techs, a lot of insurtech companies coming to this business, which is the insurance, the old-fashioned insurance, not very sexy, as we always say, but now will become a little more sexy with tech. Data mining, new tech products, virtual customer assistance. I think a part of events like this, events that we are having today by Zoom, every week, every company is giving some seminar like this one, and they will become incredibly knowledgeable. People will be much more informed of any different sites that you can just pay and go there and be talking about different subjects. I think the culture of different things will be enormous to this way that is happening. Today, the other thing we see is the micro mobility. We'll talk about that I think motorcycles, the boom of delivery companies, and of course, the work at home. Work at home has come to stay. I don't know what ranges will be, but people think 60-40, 70-30, but will be another world since now. I think it says there economic depression. I don't agree with the economic depression. I would say it's an economic situation what will happen in the future, and in that sense, we'll have. I think we need to be aware that maybe we have an increase of crime. Will be a hit of maybe medium-sized companies, SME, but also will be a lot of new startups. And I think those new startups will be our challenge and will be part of our coverage in insurance. And finally, I think the most fun thing about this is that there will be a lot of new alliances. I think a lot of the traditional insurance companies, insurance brokers, reinsurance brokers, will be merging, will be tying, will be partnership with insurtechs, insurance operator, in tech companies that will bring all this what we're talking, brokers, agents, and aggregators. So this is a bit of the summary we see as Gallagher for the future, for what is coming. Well,
I really love when you talk about this new design of the relationships in our industry. I am a person who came from the front line. I have been a bank assurance broker, insurer, independent broker, and independent reinsurance broker when I partnered with people from Bain Hog. And right now, I work with communications for the last 20 years. What I have been doing, I've been putting people in contact. And after 2017, when I had the pleasure of being invited to be our official partner at ITC, I discovered that we have a big challenge on Latin America. Why? Because Latin America don't have the habit to work to be seen as a block. It's always two Latins. One Latin which speaks Portuguese, another one which speaks Spanish. And it's fun and sad at the same time. Why? Because we are very similar. We have been colonized from countries with very similar way to colonize. We are very good football players, the real football, not the American football. We like to party. We are happy. We enjoy each other. You know, we compete in the football, but we have a lot of fun together. And when I designed this conference, because I felt a really strong limitation to have people physically coming from Latin America to our conference in Brazil. And we did that in English to find a way to make equal for everybody be part of CQCS Innovation Latam. And you brought, Lionel, one very, very good last slide. That was 100% Latam. We will have trouble with economics. All the world you have, but in Latam, it will be really Latam limitations for our round of us in different levels, but we will suffer. We have more exposure to criminal situations, but also we have a lot of startups. Why? Because as a colonized people, we are always reinventing ourselves. We are here today, Brazilian, Chilean, American, and another Brazilian as me, and to try to do the what? To the alliance you suggested in the end. I see Brooker Tech arriving here. Please like to invite back Susan Hatton and also Eduardo Dalhi and Bartolome. And when I see we five here in this room, Argentinian, Chilean, Brazilians, Americans, what we are looking for the new world, what remotely make easier to put us in contact. Sometimes there are relationships that were born in this way. You know, I can tell about my company. It's a really small company. I have 2 new employees in training programs with us. The colleagues just met them last Friday because it was our first lunch within an open place with all the protocols. But we have been working every day through Zoom and serving for over 20,000 people. Putting the seeds of this conference, I'll reach. When I'm here with you guys and I start to take a look on the Q&A, I almost lost the conference. So right now, I need to tell you that I'm really, really happy to have you here today. And all the goals until today have been reached. And right now, I would like to start the questions, and I will do ladies first. You guys are gonna forgive me. Amilcar Viana is a very special broker from Brazil, very traditional. That's the guy who was a lawyer and told his mom, "Mom, I'm a surest man, so I will give you up my lawyer association ID. I won't use that anymore because after today, I'm not a lawyer anymore. I'm an insurance broker." So I'm very proud of being his friend. And he is asking, Susan, can you mention some interesting case of startup that you have invested or that you are studying at the moment? There's an insurance area that the Brooker Tech is more interested in. Talk a little bit about real things happening. Just one example, please.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I think that all of us that live and breathe in the brokerage world know that the agency management systems are really what are foundational in terms of the work that we do and the digitization of the work that we do. So in the InsurTech space, there's a lot of conversation around agency management systems and how finding the right InsurTech could certainly streamline that operation and potentially give our agencies an opportunity to work with a system that actually meets our needs more than there are two that come to mind that are out there in the ecosystem, and I think there's a lot of opportunity with the right InsurTech to streamline that process on the agency side.
Thank you very much. Bartolome, William Lacerda is asking here, how do you mitigate the risk of claims fraud on this type of product? That's a very nice question.
Okay, yes, sure, it's a very nice question. We really put a lot of focus in mitigating those risks. As we told in our presentation, we are not just a merchandising channel, so we look to add value in every stage of the process with insurance companies too. I think that the strongest tools we have to mitigate risk are technology, which give us the possibility of setting specific barriers in the underwriting of each risk, be it photos, videos, or any information the insurance needs, and also the right use of data. We aim to work, and we are working right now with artificial intelligence platforms and machine learning platforms in order to accelerate our understanding of the behavioral patterns of our users, and in order with that, mitigate the risk in fraud claims. Eventually, we already detect some claims, some fraud claims, like for example, not only at the moment of when the user already claimed, but also in the underwriting.
Thank you very much, Bartolome. I got one very interesting question here, and I would like to have Eduardo and Lionel give the two views of that. Leandro Bordon, and saying thanks for the presentation, really great presentation. I see the year of 2020 as an opportunity for the insurance industry. Our families and people have realized the importance of insurance in the pandemic. People think more about security and a safer future. The resilience and adaptability of people facing this new moment is an important factor for a better quality of life, financial health, relationships. Eduardo, in your opinion, how can insurance industry expand its market with this new awareness of the great importance of insurance in their lives? The physical limit is not a barrier anymore. Can we expand our capillarity and offer new insurance?
Great questions. Great question. In Brazil, to spread the insurance or the culture of insurance, we have to pass through brokers. So my great goal here is to develop brokers to sell more. How we can do that? First of all, with investments, massive investments in training, to be in touch with them, with our branches, and so on. And secondly, we have to develop or to help them to develop themselves to sell for new pockets, not only for their renewals or their friends or around them, the office of the brokers, but much more than that. With technology, we can lead brokers or go with brokers to develop new pockets in their regions, like putting to them leads of new offices, the doctors' offices to them in order to them to call them and so on. And in the end of this, we have to provide simple products to them. We can't, as an insurer, to provide difficult products or complex products to them. We have to develop simple products to them. Developing simple products, I'm able to give more time to brokers to develop what they have to do, sell. When a broker tell me they are spending a lot of money with a process in an insurance company, I have many concerns about it. So it's what we are trying to do at Allianz, to develop or to help brokers, showing them simple products, process, and so on.
I always forget I'm muted. But let's go. And do you think how can the insurance industry expand its market with this new awareness?
Well, I think it's a bit of what I was talking before. I think it's a great opportunity today that the insurance market can grow. I think the tools that we are having today that we are aware are fantastic. I think the digital marketing that we can use as insurance brokers, if we invest what we should invest in data and analytics, if we invest in technology, if we use data mining, and we retrain our sales forces using all these tools, I think the penetration that the insurance will have in Latin America could be fantastic. The insurance usually, at least we see, for example, in Chile, was penetrating through retail stores and through banks with products that they were selling in their credit cards, or because they were to buy something, they maybe put the insurance there in front of the client. But today, the tools using all these other ways of doing the telemarketing, the digital marketing, and using technology in social media and in other places, it will be, I think, will be the game changer for the future. I'm sure that after this, the growth of insurance will be an explosion. I'm pretty sure of that, and because many people will come that are not in the insurance market will come. They'll be attracted to be here, to be part of this sort of secret that is insurance. So, and that's why I was talking about the alliances for the future. I think this alliance that will come will make the game change. So I think that's my view, where insurance companies and insurance broker will see the growth in the future.
Thank you very much. I have a question here that really touched me in a very special point, and I think we could end our conference today. Each of you giving your point of view about that, And we have one question for Bartolome from Yuri. Bartolome, what's the main competition you guys have been facing?
Okay, the main competition I think we faced was the lack of insurance awareness, but not only a lack of insurance awareness, but also the lack of the people have over the value of their assets they carry with them. So I think those two were the biggest competitions we have.
Okay, and our friend Mario brought here a question that really touched me, because I have an opinion about that, and I would like to end this event with a reflection about that, because it's not totally true in my point of view. But I'd like to hear you guys first. So we do invert the order, and I'd like Lionel to answer first, Eduardo second, and Susan third, and I make the close of conference. Can we do this way? Because it's very good at this point of view. The new digital insurance market is based a lot on AI. Yeah. And these technologies, and IoT and AI. These two technologies need a large volume of database to return solid and effective information. In this way, if the market moves online, the multi-insurance broker distribution loses its meaning. How do you look at it? How traditional insurers are looking at it? How startups are going to be able to compete with big insurers and mitigate this model? First of all, I would like to have a question if the broker, the multi-insurance broker distribution loses its meaning. I don't know make as a statement. I'll make I'm running the show, so I'll use my power to adjust the question. Are the multi-insurance broker distribution losing its meaning, and how will be the traditional insurers looking as it? How startups are going to be able to compete with big insurers migrating to this model? And first, before everything, people, there's a very important survey in the chat. If you guys could answer that, it's a 1 minute chat survey that will help us to make better and better and better and better events. Now, it's your turn.
Okay, thank you, Gustavo. I think insurance broker will be under pressure, clearly. The traditional insurance broker will be under pressure if doesn't go in this investment of technology. I think that's something that we need to be aware. And that's why I was talking about alliances. I think they need to find an alliance with somebody that can bring that culture, that value, that knowledge. So because they will be much more easy to access to buy insurance and not to use a broker, unless you, a broker, are part of the solution and you are presenting that possibility. So I agree. I think multi-line brokers will have to find solutions in that line. I think the commercial traditional insurance, the more sort of tailor-made, will still have something, will be the traditional insurance we know, but a lot of the income will come from these other sources. So the only thing I can tell is we need to start investing in the new technology. If we want to survive as brokers, I think that's the only way we'll be in the next maybe 50 years as a company.
Thank you very much. Eduardo, do you think that the multi-insurance broker distribution model is losing its meaning?
Yeah, I came from math. I'm actuarial. And when you talk about a huge amount of data, it's lovely to me. But of course, the strength here in a traditional insurer is data. You can imagine now Allianz join with the data we bought from Sul America. We are the second player in the market. How good we can be with data. Of course, depends on what we will do with this data. But doing some fight in this with the audience or with my peers here. In one hand, we have a traditional insurer like Allianz, like others, with a huge amount of data, trying to develop this data. Or what means we are hiring new people to work with this data. We are developing new products to develop this data. We have Auto-Você. Auto-Você is a telematics approach. Is an app I can get from the client everything he is doing in his driving. So in one hand, we have a huge amount of data, and an insurer, traditional one, learning about it, how to do this. Of course, we are not so fast like a fintech, insurtech. And in another hand, we have an insurtech. No data. They have to buy everything or to get from web and so on, but they have many people, or not many people, but few people very good prepared from other markets to develop new things in the market. I believe it's will be a very good fight in the end, and for our happiness, the client will be the pleasure to see this fight. Huh?
Thank you very much, Eduardo. Susan, what do you think about?
I'm glad, Gustavo, that we're ending on this question because it's one that I'm very passionate about. And actually, Lionel and Eduardo hit on some of the points. You know, the question is really the reason why we built Broker Tech Ventures, right? It is to embrace technology and InsurTech solutions rather than to be disrupted by it. Here is one thing I will tell you, and I'm emphatic about this. If COVID has taught us one thing, it is the power of the human experience. So technology may aid in efficiencies, it may aid in the swiftness of business operations, but I will tell you the power of the human experience is something that I believe is one that cannot be replaced by AI nor replaced by a technology solution. So it might assist us, and I think we have to be open to that change. Those that are in the industry that are not, I do believe will be disrupted. But to be open to that unknown, I think will only add the value, as Eduardo mentioned, to the end customer, and that truly is providing the human experience.
Thank you very much. And I really would like to tell you guys that I have a strong belief about this issue, and I'm very happy that we are ending this distribution panel with this kind of reflection. First of all, I think the pandemic showed, at least in Brazil, that the insured want to have a broker. He don't want to do by himself. That's a point. You know that Rita Granja, who we are with us today, I went in her office today. Our offices are closed, and we may get back on January, February in a different way. Everyone is working from home from CQCS team. And I met her and asked her, how are you doing? She said, great. How about your renews? 100%. The clients love it. They love me more now today. So being remote is not being virtual. People want to have a broker. Once I went with my friend, Jonathan Kalman. He's from Phillies. A lot of people in the world who changed the world come from Phillies. That's very funny. And I went there in St. John's University in the C-suite event, and I was curious about the US. And there's a guy, a rental guy there talking about distribution. And I asked him, why people still asking brokers to make insurance? I arrived in this industry 34 years ago. The broker will lose for the banks, after we lose for the telemarketing, after that for internet, after that for aggregators, and the broker is still alive. Said because for the common client, the insurance is boring. He do that once a year. He don't really need to understand that pretty much have someone doing that for him. Someone he trusts. And the multi-line broker, is the broker of the future. I believe the opposite at our friend Mario. Mario, I believe in the bionic broker. The broker who uses IoT, AI, what else comes over to improve his human service, caring about someone. Remember, insurance is about protecting, caring, and serving. That's what makes me love insurance. I love people, I love taking care, and I love to protect. So in my point of view, all this improving of the development of the new technologies, new possibilities, the companies are choosing brokers. Eduardo is from a company named Allianz. You cannot imagine, I know a little bit, how they're investing on brokers and distribution to people. They're not, all the technology they're investing in money is to empower their brokers. So that's the plan. So I'd like to thank you all who came here today, especially those brokers that are caring about being the bionic broker that the client wants you to protect his goods and his dreams. And you, Bartolome, Eduardo, Leonel, and Susan, hoping that God bless you all with the fortune that you gave me to make it happen in the right time, almost a Britannic time, a very, very special conference about distribution. We are insurance. The distribution is where they connect the society with the protection. And please, let's go forward because the society needs us to make they feel safer and have time to enjoy their lives. Thank you so much. Let's do it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Gustavo.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.